Hi, I'm Mary Poplin, and today I'll be talking a little bit about the distortion map export from Mocha Pro into Nuke. In our next point release, Mocha Pro users will be able to export lens data out of Mocha Pro into any compositing program that can read distortion maps, including Nuke and Fusion. So let's get started. First we hit Locate Lines, and we trace various lines in the scene that we think will make good reference points. What we're looking for is curved lines that should be straight. Then we just adjust our settings and hit Calibrate. We check our results, and one of the ways I like to check results is I like to come in with the X-Spline tool and do a track. And once I do the track, I tend to align a surface in the area that I want to add an image to in my scene, just to make sure everything lines up properly. So all we do is, in order to get a good solve for this, I think I'm going to actually have to use two shapes. So I'm going to come in down here and I'm going to draw a shape around the bottom area of the front of this dresser thing. And then I'm just going to adjust my corner pin to the edges of the screen. Alright, and I'm going to make sure they line up how I like them. Now, all I'm going to do is track through the scene, and if my corner pin sticks on and it matches the curves even as we move through the whole shot, I know that my lens calibration is good. So what do we do with this? Well, one of the things we can do is we can render this out as a flat image and take all the distortion right out of the scene, just like that. Or we can render this out as a distortion map that you can use in any compositing program you like for extra control. So now that we've rendered that, how do we do this in a compositing program? Well, we go to Export Lens Data, and we export a distortion map clip. We're going to want to select undistort and make sure that the dimensions are the same as our final composite will be, also the same as what the imported clip is. Now we're just going to choose a location to save it in, make sure that it's the format we like and the name that we like, and then we will just hit Save. Now I'm naming this the size of the comp, and then I'm going to hit Save. And you can see that this is the distortion map that we end up with. It's pretty straightforward. Alright, so that is our undistortion pass. Now we can also export this as a distortion map. So what we do is we hit on Distort, okay, and we make sure our settings are larger than the comp that we would be making so that we have edges to wrap around. We make sure that the file is named what we would like it to be named, and we make sure that we pick a location for it to go in, and then we just hit Save. And this is what that distortion map looks like. So now, how do you get those into another program? Well, Martin covers in detail in another tutorial how to get this into After Effects, but I'll just show you that you can paste it in as an effect in After Effects as well. And that's available in Mocha for After Effects version 3. It's a paid upgrade. And the plugin itself is free with the upgrade, so the lens plugin you don't have to pay anything extra for. You can download it right off our website. But how do you take that into Nuke? Well, you can see that I've set up an undistorted file over here, but let me show you exactly how I got that in there. First, I drag my read node in, and I drag my distortion map in that I rendered out of Mocha. We use the ST map node in Nuke to plug these into one another. So we plug the ST map into the node, and then we plug the read node right into that same node. Now, we have to have some settings fixed in order for this to work. So what we do is we check the size of our read node, make sure that's correct, make sure our read node is like right where we want it to be, and then we check our ST map node, and we change RGBA to the channels, and we change the UV channels to RGB, okay? And now that will undistort our footage for us. We can scroll through and see how that looks. Alright, I feel like that looks pretty good. So now, how do we get that corner pin data that we had previously tracked in Mocha Pro into Nuke? Well, first things first, we go over to Mocha Pro. We make sure that we are on the Track tab, okay, and we go to Export Shape Data, but we're going to check and make sure that it's lining up how we want. We're just going to turn our surface tool on and scroll through and make sure that the distortion is 100% correct, because we want to make sure it's correct in Mocha before we take it into Nuke. Okay, so now we're going to go to Export Tracking Data, and we're going to use Nuke Corner Pin, and we're going to make sure that we click Remove Lens Distortion. This is very important. We're going to copy that right to the clipboard, and we're going to go right over to Nuke, and we're going to put in a little read node, and we're going to load in what we want on the screen, and then we're going to just make sure we're on the first frame in Nuke, and we're going to hit Paste, and our corner pin node comes right in automatically. We're just going to make a little merge node. We're going to hook our background up to our foreground here, And now we have a composite that we have total control over for those of you who like to work exclusively in Nuke for the fiddly parts of your comp. Let's just play through that and see how it looks. And it's looking like it looks pretty good. Nothing's sliding or slipping. It looks like the track is moving appropriately. Okay, it's very important that you paste in on the first frame. Now, that is a pretty simple intro of how to get our distortion map data into Nuke. I am Mary Poplin. Thank you so much for watching our little demo here, and I hope you found it useful. Be sure to check out Martin Brennan's tutorial on how to get this information into After Effects, and go ahead and if you need to contact us, please go to our forums at imagineersystems.com. We also have a Facebook and a Twitter, and if you need to contact support, go to our support form.